everyone, we've got a bit to cover today. I just want to talk about yesterday's setups and today's potential Kiwi CAD setup, and I want to look at the Dixie as well because it dumped after the inflation data. So even though we get a signal to buy X or Y, we have to check fundamentals. We've got to check the calendar, and also you should probably look at Dixie as well if you're trading the dollar crosses. So this is obviously of interest, so be careful around the CAD. There could be a lot of volatility there, I'd assume. The consensus is the hike, right? So be careful. The yield curve is steepening, which is a good sign for risk, which is good. Our risk calculation is on at the big picture, but the 24-hour change is impacting the big picture. We want to be careful with the midpoint in the year. It's a 26.5 on the VIX. Assuming we hold below that, it could be fairly bullish. We don't want it above 26.5 ideally, and so bear that in mind. So the bonds, the yields are indicating a little bit of risk on, which is good. The big picture on the retail sentiment is risk on. However, we've got to be careful on the 24-hour change. Let's look at yesterday's signal. It never did materialize because I was saying how we wanted this to break, and now we're now creating some support here. So it would have been a good idea to sell that break, but we never did. So it's a good idea to place orders, not to enter at market. So that's that. So we created some new support. We've got resistance overhead, which you can see, 74.30, and this is going to move quite a bit on a risk on or off environment because you've got the Swiss component. FX is quite tricky because you've got to remember the common denominator, and you know what is going to be the driver of that pair. Could it be CAD or could it be Swiss? CAD moves because of oil, so you want to keep an eye on oil as well. So Kiwi CAD was one that is going to be of interest because of this synthetic sentiment from the daily bubbles. So this is the strongest indication. Also Aussie Kiwi is a buy as well, but we'll look at Kiwi CAD, okay, and see what we can see. Kiwi CAD, there we are. So this is a sell. Really moved. So let's have a look. Maybe a short there would be fairly common sense. 85, 83. It's not too far away. I'll mark it down, and we'll see how we go. Obviously, that would have been a good short up there. So you know, you could argue if you woke up early, you could have probably caught that. 6.33. My cat's talking to the birds, so if you can hear her, I apologise for that. So if we break this, we can probably come to 85.56. So this could be your target here, and then that could be a stop loss. Theoretically, I mean, you could probably target a little bit lower if you wanted a better R. I mean, you could target maybe there. So I'll leave these levels on. Enter here potentially 85, 83, just a bit below that candle wick, and target there. You're looking at a 19 pip stop to target 45. Zoom out a bit just in case. Yeah, we've got some strong support here. That could be your target, but we'll be less ambitious and just target there. So there's a setup today. So remember to maybe not necessarily open at market, perhaps create an order. You can see how this level's of interest actually. It's going to be fairly strong support there, I think. So if this breaks and then that breaks, and it should be opening the door to, you know, around this area. So let's look at Dixie. Maybe take that candle. This just tells us volumes, but it might not be that clear, so I'm going to take that indicator off. So we saw a big dump. We're still very strong in an ascending channel. Pitchfork, got a bullish ABCD. 100 again, 131 is resistance, at 99.88 is support. The reason for that is your 61.8, so we can use the fib here, and that's how that's calculated. So it knows this angle. It's all quite clever, the super indicator. How does that calculate? Oh, it's that angle, isn't it? Let's take that across and take that down. And yeah, I'll take that off because that's a little bit confusing. Take that off. Yeah, of course it's using that angle, isn't it? Of course, that's the angle that we're using. So that's fine. Yeah, so that's a 61.8. It says 99.88 is going to be a strong support, and 100% on this fib diagonal is 159. So that should be a good resistance. And these are fib extensions, which we can get to, but it'll be slightly unusual. What else? What we can look at? We can maybe look at the Aussie Kiwi potentially, because that was one that was saying buy. So yeah, maybe a long above 109.38. Nothing really to target above. Let's look at this. Yeah, right, good. We've got some strong resistance. Okay, so that's at 9. The chart shifts. It's really quite frustrating tool. Chart shift. There you go. Take that rubbish off. So there's your resistance there. So above 109.50 could be a good long, where your stop would be at 109.25. 25 pip stop, and you could target. Well, it's not necessarily a target above. It could fly. So there's the Aussie strength and the Kiwi weakness. Charts. Chart shift. Oh, this is really annoying sometimes. Where has it gone? There. God, MetaTrader 4. It's pretty horrible. So yeah, so above there, 109.50, stop loss there, and you could just probably just trail your stops higher. So I'll mark that level as an entry potential, and this is your stop loss here. So 25 pip stop. We could go to the moon on this, and the reason for this to move is based on your daily shifting. So we've got strength in the Aussie and we've got weakness in the Kiwi. So if that continues, we'll probably cross over the 50%, and it'll be a sell at the static level. So really we could fly on Aussie Kiwi. So there's some setups there. Hopefully they're helpful. And to be careful with the CAD as well today, and trade safely. We've got a lot of stuff tomorrow on the US data front, so trade carefully on that one as well. And I'll be back later. And don't forget, you can let me know if you need any help, and I'll be hovering around if you need me. And I'll speak to you soon.